What's up guys, this is Storm and welcome to another gaming news week. We have a lot to cover this week, so without further ado, let's get on with the news. Our first big news is PlayStation has announced Marvel Token Fighting Souls will be playable at EVO this year in Las Vegas on August 1st. I'm going to be posting some screenshots from their PlayStation blog. But yeah, you'll be able to use 6 out of the 8 heroes that they shown off in the reveal. You got Captain America, Iron Man, Star-Lord, Doctor Doom, Storm, and Miss Marvel. So if you're excited to try out Marvel Token Fighting Souls, head over to EVO in Las Vegas. Able to get your first-hand experience and also get some feedback on the game for the devs. The game is set to release early next year, and it will be on PS5 and PC. And if you're into the fighting genre, PlayStation also did announce that they'd be having their own type of fighting stick for the very first time, something that they made on their own. So kudos to the fighting community because you guys are eating good with this one. We have some bad news involving the game of Splitegate 2. The devs have put out a statement that they be making some changes to the game. And this is what they had to say. To the Splitegate community, we believe in Splitegate 2. This game means everything to us. It's been our life for almost 10 years, starting in our dorm room. And we were committed than ever to deliver the incredible experience you deserve. We heard your feedback and we agree with you. We launched too early. We had ambitious goals with Splitegate 2 and our excitement to share it with you. We bit off more than we could chew. We rushed certain features, made some boneheaded mistakes, and most importantly, we didn't give you the polished portal-filled mayhem you fell in love with. So we're going back to the beta. We'll be heads down until early next year, rebuilding major parts of the game to capture the spirit of what makes Splitegate special. That means reworking progression from the ground up, adding more portals to our maps, simplifying monetization, refocusing on classic game modes you've been asking for, and more, which we'll share soon. Now more than ever, we need your help. We're returning not just to our roots and what we build, but in how we build it with you. That means more playtests, more surveys, more listening, truly being community first. Our goal is to combine the DNA of the first game with the best improvements from the second. Rebuilding the core experience isn't a quick fix. It's a long-term commitment to give ourselves the time to build the Splitegate you deserve. We made the difficult decision to reduce certain roles and shift our resources to focus on this rework. This is heartbreaking. These are our teammates and our friends, and they helped us build what we have today. They're receiving severance and job placement support, and we commit to doing everything we can to help them through this transition. We hope to bring them back when we can. In an effort to retain as many team members as possible, we're also going to be shutting down OG Splitegate servers in a month. While we love to keep servers online indefinitely, it costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past couple of years, and we have prioritized our team. Like us, we know this game means a lot to you, so we're exploring the possibility of supporting offline or peer-to-peer matches, and we will return. We plan to have dedicated experience in Splitegate 2 that delivers on the promise of the original. In the meantime, Splitegate 2 will remain playable and we'll still be shipping Chapter 3 as well as fixes and high priority changes. We hope you will continue to play and support the game. As always, please keep the feedback coming. We face a lot of dark days and have made mistakes, but we learn a lot and has determined to make Splitegate as great as possible. Splitegate has been our life for 10 years, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We like to work to do, but we aren't giving up. We love this game and we love this community too much to ever quit, so we won't. See you in the arena, Ian and Nicholas. Okay, so I talked about Splitgate 2 on some troubling stuff that they have going on, like the heavy focus on monetization, which is one of them I noticed from Splitgate 2 compared to the first game. And it's so weird, like Splitgate 1 was such a good game, so I don't know how they down this downfall so hard compared to the first game. I guess because the first game didn't have classes and stuff, so everybody basically was the same. And to be honest, they probably should have kept it like that, but it is what it is. They said they could go back to the drawing board and stuff, but I don't know if people might come back to play it if the changes are good, but I'm not 100% sure. Because like I always say, your first impression is the best impression. Like the first impression is all that matters when it comes to certain games like this. And it does make them look even worse because they try to throw shots at Call of Duty at Summer Game Fest. So yeah, that's why I call it a case of humble pie. Because honestly, they didn't even have to throw shots at Call of Duty. They could have just kept it pushing. They didn't even have to throw shots. For some reason, they decided to throw the shot, and look, Call of Duty's still around, Halo's still around, and Splitgate 2 is going back into beta. But I digress. Hopefully, well, I'm really hoping devs of the future don't do what Splitgate done. Like talk mess about talk mess about another game when your own is not doing the best also. So here's hoping for that. EA has officially shown off Battlefield 6 with the reveal trailer that came out a couple of days ago. And at the end of the trailer, they said on July 31st, we will have our first multiplayer reveal for Battlefield 6. Okay, I'm hoping it does turn out good, honestly, because people, it's always funny to me how people always complain about Call of Duty but be the first ones to pre-order it. So hopefully this will push for a better competition for Call of Duty to actually do better when it comes to certain aspects of their game. Because since Battlefield had been quiet since the release of Battlefield 2042, we haven't had like a new Battlefield for a while. So now that we're getting one, yeah, this would definitely, hopefully, push for better competition and stuff. And the funny thing is about this, EA accidentally revealed a legal disclaimer for Battlefield 6, which shows that the game could potentially coming out on October 10th. So we got a possible release date for Battlefield 6, which is very surprising in my opinion. I kind of expect it to come out like next year, honestly. But if it come out this close to October, the end of this year for the holiday, it definitely gonna be a battle between Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So, and both were supposed to get a multiplayer reveal for it. So it's gonna be nice to see which game does turn out looking better. Because we have seen people play the alpha test for Battlefield 6, and so far I've seen many positive talks about it, so it does have me interested in trying out when it comes out. I've never been a one to play Battlefield, mostly on Call of Duty, but I did like my experience playing Battlefield 4, so I definitely gonna give 6 a try when it comes out. Supermassive Games has announced in a statement that Directive 8020 has been delayed The statement reads, we made the decision to move the launch of Directive 8020 to the first half of 2026. The reaction to the game so far has been incredible, and we believe that taking a bit more time will help us deliver the very best experience for you all. Everyone at Supermassive is deeply grateful for your patience and ongoing support. We can't wait for you to board the Caspelia. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But yeah, the game was set to release in October. I want to say probably like October 2nd, or it was early in October it was set to release. But I guess they needed more time for something. They didn't go into detail the reason for the delay. Kind of sound like for more polishing. And so at least that's what I got from the statement. But yeah, they're delaying to the early of 2026. No definite date when in 2026. But hopefully the game turns out good for the delay. Microsoft Xbox have reversed the pricing for the Outer Worlds 2. When the Outer Worlds 2 was announced, it was set to release at a price of $80 for the standard version of the game, which had a lot of people in the community upset because believing that $80 for a game will be the new price point, because it stems from the first one to announce that $80 game, which was Nintendo for Mario Kart World. And in their statement for Nintendo, they said they would adjust the price for the games depending on what that game is. So, for example, Donkey Kong Bonanza, that is a $70 game, and Mario Kart World is an $80 game. And in my opinion, honestly, I saw the direct for Mario Kart World and stuff, and I still don't know the justification for $80 for a standard game like that. But of course, people will use the excuse, well, you buy the bundle, technically you get it for $50. I'm like, I didn't even want to have an argument with them, because like, just because you're buying a game in a bundle doesn't mean the game is not $80. Why if somebody who don't get the bundle and the bundle runs out? They have no choice but to get the $80 version of Mario Kart World if they want that game. But that's neither here or there. This is what Microsoft had to say about dropping the price of the Outer World 2. We're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore, and we'll keep our full price holiday releases, including the Outer Worlds 2, at $70 in line with the current market conditions. Users can receive refunds at point of purchase starting today and tomorrow. So, honestly, this is a deal for Microsoft, because if this game would have launched at $80, this game would not get sold at all. Like, even if, like, yeah, of course the game is on Game Pass, so people will most likely got it there. But, like, the sales for the game will be drastically small for $80, because the game is set to release on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. I don't know if it's coming to the Nintendo Switch too, but yeah. And I kind of agree with some people with the saying. The reason why they're doing this because the pre-orders for this game must be drastically small. Cause $80 just for a standard version of the game, not even a deluxe version of it. Yeah, Xbox was wild for this one, but it's good to see they changed their mind. So hopefully we'll see how pre-orders go look for this game now and stuff. And honestly, this just leave only one of the big three that's now charging games for $80, and that's Nintendo. But of course, Nintendo not really gonna get that much flack for it because it's Nintendo, honestly. Yeah, there were complaints about this game being $80 and stuff, and yet people still bought Mario Kart World. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm kind of curious, would people how people gave flag for Xbox charging $80 for The Outer Worlds 2. I wonder if that Metroid game would get the same flag if it comes out at $80. Matter of fact, do that new Pokemon game has a price yet? I'm probably gonna check that out later, but I don't believe it does, because if they charge that thing $80, I'm curious how people gonna react to that, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see how, if Nintendo would get the same flag if Xbox or PlayStation would charge $80. But like I said, I don't believe so because it's Nintendo. But I'm open up for surprises, honestly. Sony and Bandai Namco signed a strategic partnership. Apparently, Sony is acquiring a 2.5% of the company, around $463 million in Bandai Namco. And this partnership will extend to collaboration on games, anime, music into broader areas, joint development plus expansion on rapid growth of anime and manga worldwide. So, what could this potentially mean? Like, we could probably see they're doing some exclusive marketing deals for some type of games in the future. That could be a possibility. Expanding, make anime or mangas for certain Bandai Namco's IPs. Like, for example, they could probably do, like, after this Digimon anime series that's coming out later this year, they probably could do a new one with Sony animations. They could probably use Sony animation to make an anime for their for the Digimon novel, Digimon Liberators. They could probably do anime for different Bandai Namco stuff. Probably make a game out of it. There are a lot of possibilities, and spending $463 million that's like no chump change. That is no chump change. So we've seen this before with Sony when they did it with the parent company for From Software. So we could probably see what could this mean in the future. As of right now, there's nothing really much to say about it. Like Bandai Namco and Sony had a very strong partnership in the past. Like, Sony had the marketing deals for their Digimon games. So all of this is pretty much nothing new in the grand scheme of it. But of course, we'll find out what more could this lead to. As of right now, nothing really much to say about it, honestly. It's been announced that Lollipop Chainsaw is going to begin a new game and a anime adaptation. We don't know the details on the new game, but Lollipop Chainsaw do have a pretty strong fan base, so this could be a sequel or just a reboot of the game in general, which have a lot of people excited for. And interesting, a new anime adaptation. I'm kind of surprised they haven't done that already, but we don't know what could potentially be the new anime. We just gotta wait and see. Moon Studios, the developers of Ori, have put out a very controversial statement that have fans of the Xbox community very upset with what they have to say. Their next upcoming game, called No Rest for the Wicked, might be delayed on the Xbox. That doesn't mean the game is not coming out. It basically said the game most likely won't launch same day as the PlayStation version. And this had people in the Xbox community very upset. And this is what they had to say. It said Moon Studio, Ori, and the Blind Forest might skip Xbox for No Rest for the Wicked at launch due to a market conditions. They said prioritizing the PS5 development makes the most sense, says Ori Dev. We want to support console, and just looking at the numbers, PS5 makes the most sense at the moment. This is followed by Xbox console sales is not doing well. I believe the latest number we heard for the Xbox Series consoles that it is somewhere in the 30 something million, probably close to 40, or probably like I honestly can't remember the last numbers we heard how much the Xbox console sold. And the last numbers we heard that the PS5 has sold, they are around 75 million. They probably passed 80 million by now, but we haven't received any updated numbers. But overall, yeah, that is a big console sold gap between the Xbox and the PlayStation. So they're going with the console that sold more, which means more people get to play their game. And by the looks of No Rest for the Wicked won't be on Game Pass. So, of course, some people from the Xbox community are saying they're going to be boycotting the game just because it won't release day one on Xbox, and they want others to do the same also. This is not something that we've seen before. This is not like a new thing. It just, in the recent years, we're now seeing more devs speak out about it now. Like, this kind of sounds like the whole situation when it came to Black Myth Wukong, because a lot of people were saying that Sony money had the game to have it exclusive, and the devs have said multiple times that it's not money had it. It just they needed more time to they need more time to what was it? Basically develop for the Series S version. They need optimization. There we go. For some reason the word was not popping in my head. They need more time to optimize the game for the Xbox Series S console, which a lot of people said which would be the case, because playing Black Myth Wukong even on the PS5 and what I seen people said on the PC, it is a very demanding game. So I don't know why they assumed that it was money had it, just because the game didn't come out for a whole year. I believe Black Myth Wukong is now coming out in August for the Xbox console. So people on the Xbox, if they have a PC and a PS5 and they chose not to play on those platforms, instead they wanted to wait for the Xbox version of it, then I guess like there you go. And so, to be honest, I don't know if you have the console to play the game. I don't know why would you wait a whole year, but that's just me. Like, the gaming community is freaking weird. But like I said, this kind of stuff is not unheard of. We have seen stuff like this happen before. The only new thing is devs are now speaking out more about it. But of course, we'll just see how Moon Studio is going to deal with the game. So, because for all we know, they probably could be able to launch the game day one with the PS5 version, and there probably won't be a delay for it. we just gotta wait and see. I think people are just in their feelings about this whole situation and stuff. But that's unfortunately the gaming community. Like, you can't even have a proper discussion about video games while people going crazy over fanboys and the whole console war and stuff. Like, the console war is over. Like, give it a rest already. Techland has announced that Dying Light the Beast has been moved to September. Yes, the game had been delayed. I believe this game was going to come out in August, but now it is coming out September 19. And by the looks of it, the reason for it is most likely for polishing wise. At least that what I think is the reason for it. But yeah, Dying Light the Beast got delayed, so what more I could say about that, honestly? A dev team that goes by the name of Team Kill Media has officially announced the release date for Code Violet that is set to release on November 14 of this year. And you don't know what Code Violet is basically the dev team version of basically they try to make the game to be the successor to Dino Crisis. The fan base have been asking for a very long time for a return of Dino Crisis, either remastering, remake, or make a brand new game in general. So this dev team have taken upon themselves to do their take on Dino Crisis with Code Violet. They announced the pre-orders, and there'll also be a deluxe edition that have amazing bonuses to the soundtrack, outfits, and avatar. The pre-order include a vintage pin-up set that include 2 outfits, a weapon, and earring set. Unfortunately, since the dev is a very small team, the game is only available digitally, but in the future they could potentially launch a physical version of the game. I believe the game is only available on PlayStation right now. I had to look at it more, but what I seen people thoughts of the game, they are truly excited for it. I did look at an early version of the gameplay, and the game does look promising. So I am hoping that people will go out and support the game. And you never know, the success of this game could push that other company to put out Dino Crisis. So you never know. Once they see a competition, yeah, competition is good in the long run. So we'll see how that turns out. A clip was going around from an Xbox podcast, but from Xbox Era, and according to Nick Baker, who is the co-founder of Xbox Era, has said in the podcast that he believes that Fable will not be released in 2026 either. He's saying the game could get pushed to 2027. People on the podcast was not okay with what he was saying. They even go so far to even say that some of the stuff that he be saying don't even comes true. So they don't really believe what he had to say off rip. But this is what he had to say. According to Nick Baker, co-founder of Xbox Era, he has heard from 2 separate sources that Fable will not be released in 2026 and may be pushed back to 2027. We don't know that for sure. I believe the last time we heard, I believe there was like some type of video for Fable that came out like a couple of years back, like 2022, 2023. The first reveal of it, I want to say 2021 or 2020 during the Xbox event. One of those two. But yeah, since then we haven't heard any update of Fable, and it has not shown up in the last Xbox showcase, which have some fans a little bit concerned. If the game was set to come out in 2026, they would at least heard something. But if what he's saying true, that this game could be pushed back to 2027, this could be a very bad for Fable in general. Some people even going so far to believe that the reason why we haven't seen any update for it, and if the game is set to come out in 2027, some people believe that it is because um, they are getting it ready to launch it with the PS5. So that could be possibly the reason for it, because when Fable was announced, it was before this whole pivot that Xbox is doing, putting their games on other competing platforms like PlayStation and Nintendo. So ever since that pivot, some games that were announced to show only for the Xbox and PC now are coming out showing for the Xbox, for the PlayStation version. The biggest example of this was Indiana Jones, which was announced only as a Xbox console exclusive with the PC release, but now when they gave the official release date for Indiana Jones, it had the PS5 version coming out for the summer. No, not summer, spring. So, thinking that the fact that the game first got its first ever release date, got a PS5 release date, also a release window for the PS5 version, that game potentially lost out on a couple of sales just because the game was only it lost out on sales because everybody was gonna get for the Xbox version. But now when that game was announced it was coming for the PS5, people were just waiting for the PS5 version. So it did lose out on some potential exclusive consoles. Basically, it lost out on consoles sold for the Xbox, because I feel some people probably would have got Indiana Jones, would have got Xbox for the Indiana Jones game, because some people say they liked it, and Troy Baker did make a good Indiana Jones. Even Harrison Ford was on the Game Awards stage and stuff with them and stuff, so I guess as of right now, take this rumor as a grain of salt because we don't know for sure. Like, it's not unheard of that this rumor could potentially be wrong, because there have been people spreading a lot of misinformation into the world, and that is part of the problem for the gaming community in general, because nobody is not saying anything truthful anymore and just a whole bunch of speculations. But I guess we'll see. We have a couple of gaming events for this year. Like, Xbox is going to Gamescom, so maybe we'll see Fable there. There's also the Game Awards. Fable could also make an appearance there. So there are some events that Fable could appear to put this rumor to rest, to show is coming out in 2026. But we just gotta wait and see how that turns out. And so that's the end of the video. What do you guys think? Are you guys worried for Fable getting pushed to 2027? Or you think it's a good thing? Are you guys gonna go to EVO to try out Marvel's Token Fighting Spirit? And are you excited that Battlefield is making a return? Now that this Battlefield looks like it's gonna be more grounded, and so far Battlefield has an edge on itself. It would not be releasing on the Xbox One and the PS4. This is officially only launching on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which in this case for Black Ops 7 is still gonna be releasing on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So Battlefield have a small edge for itself that it only releasing on the stronger hardware. We just gotta see on the execution when it comes to the multiplayer of it, because this will probably be, if it does turn out being good, this will probably be my first ever Battlefield game that I officially buy. Because I played like Battlefield World War One, but that's through PlayStation Plus. This could potentially be the first ever Battlefield I ever buy with my own money. So we'll see how it turns out in the end. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is Storm, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.